stock market headlines, CNBC, Wall Street Journal, CNN Money. Trying to pick out a couple articles that catch my attention. Again, I do this and have been doing this for the better part of 20 years. I've just now said, okay, well, let's take down the few articles and share them with you all and sort of give you what I see in them and kind of why they caught my eye. So first off, stock market's up today. Last I checked, it was just under 300 points, which I believe makes 3 days in a row. So hey, it's a good day for y'all if you own stocks and all of that. Uh, as always, I'm not a stock guy. I don't pick stocks, don't own stocks, don't ever take my advice on stocks. I am looking to try to understand and decipher consumer behavior in all of this information. I believe the press, analysts, everyone has an impact on consumers. So I'm trying to figure out where the press is leaning. I'm trying to peel apart little signals in the market to see what's going on. And then now I'm sharing those with you all. So first off, I saw an article this morning that actually talked about the cost of tariffs. Apparently through the first two rounds of tariffs, it was about $600 a year per consumer. Now talking almost $1,000 per consumer, and that hurts. It hurts. A lot of the consumers, which are likely voters in the next election cycle. So when you take that fact, right, four digits, $1,000, you go back to the fact that you call the top bank executives and they tell you, hey, they could be doing better without this nonsense. I feel pretty good about saying that hopefully we've seen the worst of this. I would hope that given where the election cycle is, we now can go back and stop the mutual destruction stance that it seemed like both parties were after. You know, China stopping buying food from American farmers is hurts both sides, and it's not good for the world economy and the like. So hopefully this is on a smooth path to resolution. But as always with these negotiations, I'm sure both parties are going to want to claim win. They're both going to try to show their citizens that they got the advantage of the other. So this is not done till it's done, and frankly, this probably isn't even done till it's, I don't know. This may never really be done, I guess. So that's one thing. So the cost of tariffs is $1,000. That was meaningful. Found that this morning. Another one that I thought was interesting actually was sent by a subscriber. So thank you for that. If you send me a news article, there's a good chance I'll take a look at it. And this one was about debt reduction of large companies, specifically at the lowest grade, investment grade, which is triple B or triple B minus. Don't worry about what that is and all of that. But basically, what you have now is you have companies like AT&T, Anheuser-Busch, CVS actually aggressively paying down debt, which is first off the fact that that's newsworthy tells you how much debt is floating around the systems, and sometimes we get addicted to debt. So I look at that and go, okay, if the largest companies are paying down debt, right, and they're doing this from free cash flow or selling assets, and it's I look at that and going, okay, well, if the largest, the most debt-ridden companies are doing that, typically the triple B minus, they have a lot of debt. It's a very leveraged balance sheet. I'm wondering why, or if citizens, right, me, the individual, right, you, the individual, should also look to sell assets. Maybe you sell that third car or sell off something. I'm just wondering, right, all these companies with, these huge balance sheets, the ability to raise money, if they're going out and paying off debt now, I just wonder if there's a hint or a signal in there somewhere. Where it's not just one company paying down this debt. If so, you could chalk that up to a CEO shift or a CFO shift or whatever. But it's newsworthy because of the amount of the companies paying down debt, and we're talking billions of dollars. I took a note here that AT&T has paid down $9 billion so far this year. So, and again, they're reducing dividends, right? So they're if they used to pay 12 cents. Now they're paying 6 cents, and they're taking that free cash flow from not paying dividends to pay off debt. So pretty interesting. The other interesting fact is just how big the bond market was for that triple B stuff. It's over $2 trillion with a T, not a B, a T. I was shocked by that. So something of interesting to watch. The other thing that caught my attention this morning is if you like cars, right, and you happen to be in California, or maybe you flew in for this. There was the Pebble. This was the Pebble Beach weekend where everybody comes in, and you get to look at these just gorgeous cars. But also a big part of it is auctions. And what caught my attention here is the auction was down 34% year on year. So that caught my attention for a couple of things, right? We were coming off a very emotional week, right? I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday where the stock went down 3%. I wonder what would have happened if this auction was 3 weeks ago. My guess is they would have sold more cars. And again, I could be way off, right? Because I don't know the inventory. I don't know what was sold last year, and there could all be all this. It could just be dirty data, right? Maybe last year they sold $100 million car. What do I know? I have no idea. But that said, very, very, very rich people were concentrated in one spot this weekend. They all knew to bring their checkbooks because they were going to be auctioning off very rare and expensive cars. And many of them did not sell, right, for the reserve or the minimum or whatever you want to call it. And, that's a hint. That's interesting, right? And again, just like companies who are paying down debt, the very, very, very rich are now, I don't even know if they would call this assets or just discretionary spending. I wonder. I bet they call these things assets because they think they appreciate, or maybe they do appreciate. I don't know. But anyways, they bought less of them. And again, I think that's a signal, right? If the uber rich, the people that, or I don't know what else to say, they're just ridiculously rich, are cutting back and reducing that extra car in their garage or investment or piece of art or whatever it is, I wonder if that's a signal, right? Those are the things I'm looking at. The other thing I did see, the articles I read, actually was the second one, talked about the only part of the market that was hot, meaning selling over book value, was the low end. There was like a 61 Chevy Impala that went for 66 grand. I don't know what the book value was, but they made note that it was over book value. So again, the people there had the money, right? But now they're going and buying lower end stuff. Again, is that a signal? I think it's a signal, right? It's not the time to spend wildly. But if you have it, maybe you downgrade. And I think that might be something we see going on across the consumer economy. Maybe we saw it last week when Walmart reported good numbers, and I think it was Macy's had bad numbers, right? These are just all signs coming together. And then the last thing I noted is J.P. Morgan came up with an article that said, don't buy the dip, which I'm assuming they're talking to last week, until September, right? It's interesting. September is like 2 weeks away. So I don't know. Timing the market always seems risky to me. Again, not a stock guy. Just like I said, and I won't buy stock. It's not going to happen. But it's always interesting when, one of the big banks come out and say, don't do this or do this, or, what kind of their logic is. And basically the logic in their article was August is going to be noisy, and they don't see really any clear paths, until September. So for what it's worth, I don't know. But again, that's what I caught up today. Monday started off good, right? If you're in the market, you like to see up days. I get it. I found the cost of tariffs interesting. Just another sign that, this thing may be coming to an end, right? That you can't be charging your people that are going to vote for you or vote an extra $1,000 and think that they're going to. That's just not probably a good election strategy. There's a debt reduction going on by the biggest banks, maybe, or the biggest companies. We should think about that. The Pebble Beach auction was very interesting to me, right? Again, the high end is not, buying that next $20 million car. That was interesting. The low end was fine. Again, interesting. And then JP Morgan. So at the end, that's what I took away. We will see what tomorrow brings. All right, buddy. Everybody have a great day. Take care. Bye.